Hello, it's Tonya from Chalk and Willow. I just wanted to talk to you today about how to apply Zinsser with Shellac. It's the primer that's recommended underneath Fusion Mineral Paint for timber that will bleed through. So anything with lots of knots, or if you're transitioning from a really dark piece of timber to say one of the whites or a pale cream, then you would use Zinsser. This is the product that you want. It's called Zinsser with Shellac. Shellac is a beetle, and it used to be produced by crushing the beetle shells, and it locks in the tannins. This is a synthetic product, so no beetles were harmed in the making of this product. But I wanted to show it to you because it's like painting with milk. It's not a particularly well, I mean, it's not difficult to use, but it's technique, as with everything. It's quite runny. You can see at the moment it's split. So see, it's kind of a bit brown water and a bit kind of painty. So I'm going to get my mixing stick and I kind of mix it from the bottom. And I give it a really good stir to combine it. So you've got the oil that's risen. So you want to scrape along the bottom as well, because some of the ingredients are heavier than the others. So, you know, you just really need to give it a really good stir, but it is the texture of milk. So, and it smells. So I wouldn't want to do this inside. I'll just do it in my shed with the big doors open. So there you are. You can see it's very thin. I find the easiest way to apply this is with a microfiber roller. If you use foam, the foam will disintegrate. Because of the ingredients, it kind of doesn't like the foam very much, or the foam doesn't like it, and the foam falls apart. So I use a 10mm nap microfiber roller, and I reuse mine. So I wrap it in a bit of glad wrap, and because I've wrapped it tight, this is still pliable. So I'm just going to reuse this roller, and today I'm just going to prime a buffet and hutch that I've got to paint. I'm only priming the parts that I'm going to do in a light paint. I'm going to use Dixie Belle's drop cloth, which is a beautiful kind of off-white. It's a little bit darker than raw silk, I would say, but kind of that genre. So that's going on the outside. That's where I'm going to apply my Zinsser, and then they're having Bunker Hill blue on the inside. So I think that's going to look beautiful together. So I'll just show you on a door and a drawer front. So this is the what I'm painting. We've given it a clean and a light sand. So that's ready to paint. I'm just going to, because it's an oil-based product, I like to use something disposable that I can just throw away. So this is a takeaway lid that we had from a breakfast during isolation. So I'm just going to tip a bit into there, and I'm going to use that as my paint tray. I don't really want to use one that I've had to buy from Bunnings or somewhere like that. I'd much rather use something that I can recycle. So I've just tipped a little bit in my tray here. Very liquid. Hopefully if I pull it back a tiny bit you might be able to see. So I'm just going to dip my roller in. I don't want heaps. I can see that it's dripping a little bit, but like I say, it is the texture of milk. So here's my drawer front, and I'm going to use the roller to apply the whole surface, even these side bits. So I'm going to roller on the flat first, just so that I can offload a ton of the product, or the most product. Then I'm going to take my roller and I'm going to use it on its side. And I'm just going to carefully roller that edge. The great thing about this product is it dries really quickly, so you can recoat. If you had something very dark, you could recoat within kind of 20 minutes to half an hour, I would say, depending what your humidity is outside, or if it was a wet day. But it does dry quickly, so you can certainly get your first couple of coats of Zinsser on, and then your first coat of paint all in one day. again, just coming up the edge here and down the side. You can sand this product too, so if you find that you've applied it a bit thick in an area, it does sand nice and easily. You can sand between coats, or you can sand after a couple of coats. So I just want to show you how easy and quick that was. So that's what you're after, a flat coat, not total coverage, it's not paint, but I will probably put a second coat on just because it's so easy, and then you do find that you'll use less paint too. So I'll show you how to do a door now. So here's one of my cupboard doors. You can see it's got little grooves in here and little corners. So hopefully I'll be able to get to all of that with my roller that I've reused. If not, I've just got one of these little chip brushes. This is a little Fusion workshop brush, the smallest one. And again, I just wrap it in Glad Wrap. I would not do this between coats with my Stylmeester or Kling-On brushes. But because this is a cheap little brush and I want to reuse it, I'm going to do this, wrap it in Glad Wrap. With your brushes, if you're painting with paint, what you want to do is soak them in a little bit of water. So you can see this one I've used this morning, so I've just got it sat up to the string line in water just to loosen the paint. Yeah, so don't wrap your good brushes with Glad Wrap. So again, what I'm going to do is load up my roller. There you go. So I'm not overloading it, but enough that I don't have to keep dipping in and out. And with your roller, you can, because it's microfiber, it's quite flexible, so you can really get into those corners, and you can kind of press in as well, you know, press it in like that on the side if you want to. So I'm just offloading this product, and then I'll smooth it out to give me a flatter finish. So I'm shoving it up in that corner just to offload, because I really, if I can avoid using a brush with this product, I will. I find this is absolutely the easiest way to apply it. So you can see I've just gone over that surface now to get a flat finish. I'm going to use my roller at an angle on this edge because there's a slight indent, but you can see how nice and quick this is to apply as well. So don't be afraid of it. Some people wear gloves with it too. I'm really trying not to get it on my fingers. It's sticky because it's oil based. And I really don't want to get it on my hands, so I'm just being a bit careful where I hold the door. So I always start in the middle when I paint to offload some of the product, because you don't want to offload on an edge, otherwise that's where you're likely to get pooling and puddling. So it's much easier to work when you've got it offloaded in the middle. I'm just trying to put it down so it doesn't go all over my table. I don't want to paint the inside of these doors. These are the bottom, and the inside of the buffet and hutch isn't being painted, so I'm just cutting in on that edge with my roller. And what I'll do is I'll finish, I need a tiny bit to grip so that I can move it, but I'll finish this door in a drying position so that I don't have to try and move it. I've got 3 others on my desk at the moment, and I don't want to have to move it wet. So I'm just going to roll it up to that edge so I've got something to hold on to, and then I'll finish that when I'll balance it on a paint pot or something. So again, nice flat finish, not totally covered, but again you can sand as well between coats, but that's a nice thin coat that's going to be dry. 15 to 20 minutes I'll recoat, and then I'll go in with my drop cloth, which is a beautiful pale Dixie Belle colour. It's also going to mean that rather than 3 coats of paint, or you know, if you were doing Fusion's raw silk, maybe 4, or things like picket fence and casement, I'm going to use less paint. So it's a more cost-effective way to do it as well, but this stuff sticks to everything, so it's a great product to use as a primer. It's really good. So hopefully that will have taken the mystery out of using bin Zinsser with shellac. And yeah, so I would just say, just be aware that it is very runny. It is like painting with milk. Use a microfiber roller. That's your best friend when you're using this stuff. Try and avoid a brush. Between pieces, you can wrap your roller in Glad wrap. Wrap it nice and tight, and it'll stay supple so that you can reuse it. And I use throwaway containers to pour a little bit into, because it's oil based and so it's terps cleanup. And don't forget to give it a really good stir before you use it. You will really want to get up from the bottom and give it a really good mix in, and away you go. For me, it's been a game changer. It's the best primer I've used so far, so I'm really excited and happy to use it. So I just thought I'd share and take some of the mystery out of it for you. Any questions with it, flick me a message in the comments below, and share your projects. Let me know what you're working on. I'm really lucky. Mum and Dad are up for 3.5 weeks at the moment, so Dad's helping me with Chalk and Willow and Dad for 3.5 weeks. So Dad's doing all my prep, which is wonderful. So we're painting up a storm here at the moment while Mum's busy cooking tea and filling the freezer, feeling very spoilt. Yeah, so it's lovely to have them here. Anyway, have a great rest of your week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.